Is this thing working? Hello. Yo, I'm Ed. What's up? What's up, my people? Popping out the chat. Oh, of course, the chat is messed up. What's up, Jose? Good to see you. So I got video. Is the video frozen again? I keep trying to use my, hey, Tech Rant. I keep trying to use my cam link, but it keeps freezing. My right ear is feeling lonely. What does that mean? So, well, it was the front page tech recycle bin live show, blah, blah, blah. So are you saying you can only hear me through one side of your ears? I don't know. That shouldn't be happening. What's up, everybody? I haven't been talking all day, so my stereo not working. Okay, let me... It's always something. It's always something. Let me try and find the settings in this freaking... I'm using Streamlabs, and it's a pain in the ass. Audio. Okay. Output. So you have stereo? Canned learn? You have stereo? That's good. That's good. Does anybody else have stereo? I'm sorry for looking down at my thingy here. Audio. I don't know how to make that stop on this program. Gosh darn it. I wish I had Epos Vox on my live stream. He could tell me how to make the thing not be mono. So I'm trying. I'm going to try and figure it all out so that you guys can. Zach, I'm glad you're here. Apparently I'm in mono. I got to figure this out. I don't want to be in mono, though. Streamlabs, curse you. Curse you. As long as it don't take long. I've heard that before. Why is this in mono? Why can't things be easy? Why can't things be easy? So, for some reason, I'm in mono, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I assume it has something to do in the settings. Audio. That's not that. This is annoying. I am not using a Mac. I'm using my Surface Book 2, but trying to get my Surface Book 2 to actually, well, this is all stuff that I had set up on the computers that I had before, and of course now it doesn't work. So I'm frustrated. Well, as long as you can hear me, I guess, but I'm going to Google make stream. I'm Googling how to use my setup while I'm using my setup. Mono Beatles is better than stereo Beatles. This much is true. That might seem counterintuitive to those of you who don't know the Beatles, but the truth of the matter is the mono mix was what was going to be on the radio, and the stereo mix was just for fun. So far, I like the Surface Book, as long as I can get all my crap set up on it correctly. So, down mix mic to mono. Oh. The page isn't working. Okay. Okay, I'm looking. Mixer settings. Okay. Aha. And yo. Just like that. What mobile device am I currently using? Man, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because it makes me seem like a crazy person. Surface Book 1, you know, from everything that I heard, was a first generation product. It just kind of like wasn't quite ready for prime time, but the Book 2 seems pretty darn good. So I don't know at this point. I'm liking it okay. I'm hoping that most of the difficulty I'm having is the difficulty of just transitioning over to a new device and sort of getting everything working, as opposed to like it won't work. So, but so far it seems like it's cool. Yeah, the Surface Pro, those Surface Pro tablets were really good as well. I think it was the 3 that I had, and I used it for a while, but the headphone jack stopped working, so I took it back and I don't know, got something else. It's like the story of my life. But I'm getting myself on track. I'm selling a bunch of stuff, and I'm just going to do what it is that I need to do for me, as long as this will do it. Does somebody owe me a Coke? I want a Coke. Yeah, I think Redman. I think that the Pixel line is getting 3 years of updates. Still doesn't beat Apple. What's for sale? I don't quite know yet. I think I'm dismantling my gaming PC, honestly, and going to sell that off for parts, because I don't know. I keep telling myself I don't need two devices. If I have this Surface Book that cost me $2,300, then I should be able to do everything that I want on a $2,300 machine. That's what I'm telling myself. I have no idea what's with the Apple Watch screens popping off. Just another day at the office, I guess, maybe. I don't still use the Astros for gaming because I haven't had any time to game. And when I do have time to game, I usually do it on the PC. So I just use regular headphones. I do still have the Cloud Alphas and the original Sony Golds. Those are my go-to console headsets. Jose, you'll have to tell me about that U12 Plus. I hear it doesn't come with a dongle. So there's that. But I've heard, you know, I think HTC makes good phones. I think they always have made good phones. It'll be interesting to see how they fare because they can't. They're not in. Oh, I'm shaking everything. They're not in the stores. They're just like, yeah, I've got a PS4, I've got an Xbox One S, I've got an Xbox One X, and then gaming PC. Ah, technically T, good to see you, man. So I'm trying to pare down. I'm going for more of a technology sort of like minimalist approach, hoping that I can get myself. Did I watch Taylor of Tech's apology video regarding Bengate? Did I watch him say a bunch of nonsensical crap that was just him sort of backward justifying everything that he said in the first place? Yes, I watched that video. It's super frustrating. He can't admit that he was wrong. He can't admit that he was wrong. He has to find 100 different ways to friggin' explain what he was saying. I just want you to understand what I'm saying. It's like, what you're saying is wrong. That's what we understand. Don't get me started, people. He's not responded to me, obviously. He's not going to respond to me because he can't say that Apple lied and that matters. That's the long and short of it. Yeah. You know, he made this long video where he said he was apologizing to Louis Rossmann, but what was he apologizing to Louis Rossmann for? Louis Rossmann like just ripped him a new one, and then he's like, "Oh, and let's be nice to everybody. Your fans are not so nice to me." Drew, it's fine if Drew's a big time Apple defender, but even if you're a defender of something, can't you admit at one point when when they're lying and they're stealing and they aren't admitting and they aren't acting ethically whatsoever when it comes to how they're doing their business? How can you sit there and come up with some circular logic that defends them? It's just so freaking. The LG G7 does look good. I haven't been able to see it in person yet because it's not in any of the stores in my area yet. Drew's not getting paid crap from Apple. Apple doesn't even give out, like, they don't even give out like review units. Well, they did with the iPhone 10 to like the fancy pants YouTubers. But Drew is not a fancy pants YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, Lewis was pretty brutal. He did bring up valid points, and he's absolutely right that Drew doesn't know anything about what he's actually talking about. And Drew tries to say, well, I'm just talking about my experience. This is what he says whenever he gets caught out. Whenever he gets caught and he can't talk his way out of it, he says, well, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. And no, it's not just your opinion. You weren't portraying it as your opinion. You were talking for everybody. Yeah, and he's never going to respond to me. He's never going to respond to the video that I made because he can't admit that that he lied or they lied, and he's lying for them. So, yeah, I know he is an Apple apologist, but I don't know if you're going to have credibility on this platform or any other, then you have to be able to say, like, okay, I'm a fan of this company, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this, now that we found out what the truth of the story is wrong, and they should have done something differently besides screw their customers twice over. But he just keeps talking. He talks in circles. Talks in circles. So the G7 new on Swappa is, I can get it for $530 on Swappa. I mean, it's not even barely out, and it's not pulling full retail price. Well, yeah, Pablo, every company does make mistakes. And I mean, the example that I keep going back to is that Samsung with the Note 7, like they pulled the thing off the shelves. They pulled all of them out of people's pockets. They tried again. That didn't work. They pulled it off the shelves. That cost them billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And they even then turned around with the Note 8 and gave all the customers who bought a Note 7, they gave them $450 off the Note 8. So that's the way you treat your customers. If you have in fact screwed up and you made a product that was defective, then you stand behind it and say, this was our mistake, especially because we knew that that this was a possibility, and we have to step up and take care of this so we can remain trusted by our customers. But the thing about Apple is that they've never been called out. Nobody's ever voted with their feet and walked away from Apple. Apple just keeps selling stuff. So it's just really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing to me. And like, I just sold my iPhone 10 today. I'm done. I'm done with Apple. Sold my iPhone 10. I'm done. Because this is just really ticking me off. Also, folks, we're getting the G7 for buy one, get one. I got you. Yeah. Juden, don't quote Brokeback Mountain. Because it's just, I mean, that was a really intense, heartfelt scene in that film, and yet when I see Apple there, it just makes me, it's no good. Okay, I have to admit it, I got another Note 8. Even though it pisses me off. I got another Note 8, and mostly because Best Buy has them on sale for this week, like for $26 a month or something. Yeah, Leo, we've been through this before. Yeah, I know they make mistakes. I'm not ripping on them for making mistakes. I'm ripping on them for being unethical after said mistakes were made. They're completely unethical. And Drew, by extension, has been completely unethical by sticking up for them through those mistakes. I don't think Google's afraid. I think Google is kind of clueless. I think for some reason, like, the left hand never knows what the right is doing over at Google, and they can't get themselves together in a way to like really focus on getting a product out, make sure that product is the best it can be, make sure that it's competitive and available and all those things. And so I think Google has a shot with the Pixel 3. I'm not convinced that the stuff that we're seeing, the leaks that we're seeing are the final product. I'm not convinced of that. So, oh, hey, Front Page Tech. We're ranting about Apple and Drew again, because, why not go on the internet and just complain like hell about somebody who, whatever. Well, they've garnered this reputation, and then they've been given a pass on every mistake that they've made. The trash can Mac was a piece of trash. The iPhone 4S, you're holding it wrong. Like, Organic Farmer, I will likely review the iPhone, whatever it is, Plus, because that's what I do. And maybe they'll win me back. Maybe they won't. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, Leo. But the thing is, I don't care about apps. I don't care about apps at all. Um, I don't play games on my phone. All the apps that I need are cross-platform, so it doesn't bother me at all. They should have paid for replacements. That is correct. And whenever the touch disease started, they should have paid for those too. Over here, guitar is a Les Paul, or not a Gibson SG with P90 pickups in it, and then I've got a Martin D15 acoustic guitar, or back there. So those are my two main guitars. Well, front page tech. I don't look at the numbers. I don't look at the numbers, Johnny. I don't look at the numbers. AA0786. Yeah, I mean, I've had generally good experiences with Apple up until recently. But I'm just I get mad when we learn things that, you know, and I don't know. Luis, how you doing? See, I don't know. It's gonna AAO786. That's hard to say. As a live streamer, how am I supposed to say that? There's not an Apple store within like nearly 3 hours from me. You can see Drew's frustration. Yeah, he didn't want to have to admit that he was wrong. That's what he was frustrated about. He looked like he just got punched in the face, honestly. That's what he looked like. It's still the same thing. Wait a minute. Live stream makes me sound like I'm peeing. What's to say that I'm not? You don't even know if I have pants on. So put that in your Pope and smike it. Pope and smike it, smoke and pipe it. Pipe and smoke it. Drew can't admit it. He can't look at a camera and say, Apple lied. They didn't handle it correctly. I can't make any more excuses. Mike Hannon, thank you for the thank you. I'm not going NASCAR. What are you talking about? Now, see, I grew up in West Virginia, so I know my NASCAR to a certain extent. And I pretend that I don't. You know, I grew up, I'm a hillbilly, okay? I grew up in West Virginia. I grew up like, you know, catching salamanders and crawdaddies in the freaking crick, all that kind of stuff. But I've lifted myself out of the mountains and put myself into YouTube. I don't know what I'm talking about. Smike it. Smike it. Drew is a closet Note 8 fan. Oh my God. I bet like he just got indigestion from you typing that. Luis, that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. Like, Drew is he's a friend of mine. We've done videos, we've done stuff together, we've collabed together. I just think that in the past like 4 to 6 weeks, yes, I did in fact play Jump the Crick. In the past 4 to 6 weeks, he's made a few videos that are completely off the wall. Like, he's just completely jumped the shark, and he's not making sense, and he's not listening to anybody. And I think that the pressure is getting to him. I downloaded the iOS 12 beta. but then I sold it. So I like betas. He stopped taking. Well, let's not go there. I mean, you know, I don't know. I take my meds. That's all I'm saying. I take my meds, so I'm not going to cast aspersions on anyone else who may have to do the same thing. Well, it's called critical thinking, Walter. It's called critical thinking. Like, you can look at something and make an informed decision about it and say, like, oh, my brain tells me that what they did was not right. And so I am going to say that with my mouth. How am I unintentionally comedic? This is all scripted, dude. This is all scripted, Sneed. Drew did. That's the thing. He backed himself into a corner. And honestly, like, I released my video and asked him. I didn't see the Rossman response to Taylor's. I didn't see. I specifically asked him to make a response to my video, saying, like, being able to tell me why, if he could or why he couldn't, just say Apple made a mistake. And he's not going to make that video. So he's got like his high school friends, I mean, that, or college friends or something, and they're all working together, and that's great. I think that's really cool. But it also creates an echo chamber where, like, everybody in the club is just, you know, sort of parroting back to him what he says. And outside of the clubhouse, he's starting to look a little sketchy. Rossman's a New Yorker. Okay, that's the best description of Rossman that I could come up with. Is he's a New Yorker, and I lived in New York for 11 years. What he said and how he said it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. New Yorkers don't suffer fools, and unfortunately, Drew was being foolish, and Rossman called him out. Do I approve of the way that he did it? I mean, I don't think you should tell somebody to shut the F up or anything like that. But I think he was getting a little agitated as he was speaking. So Zach, yeah, I mean, so there's a thing, like, okay, so I worked in publishing. I've worked at newspapers. I've worked as a journalist. I've done many different things. And a journalist would never do what Drew is doing. So a journalist would print a retraction and admit their mistakes. Yeah, you're right, Walter. He does have a responsibility. Well, Stephen, I think that you can gain the experience that you need while you're doing the job. I mean, on-the-job training is great. But if you think you know everything, if for some reason you've been convinced that you know everything before you really learn anything, then you're in for some trouble. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I mean, as if Drew doesn't start being more transparent, if he doesn't start sort of calling, you know, the P's and Q's correctly, then Blaster Master, that wasn't an apology / response. That was Drew in a roundabout way just justifying everything he said. He didn't apologize to anyone, and he didn't do anything. He just rambled on for 10 plus minutes, 19 minutes, whatever it was. And everything came back around to why he said what he said. He never said anything that was in any way an apology or some sort of response to what was being said. He complained about it. He said, "Oh, your fans are being mean to me," and he just kept coming back around to like why he said what he said, and what he said, and that he was saying this because of like he always falls back on that argument. This is my experience, my opinion, and that's not an argument. That is not an argument. That's like your opinion, man, but it's not an argument. It said apology, but there was no apology in there whatsoever. Yeah. Drew has become, Walter, I agree with you. His tone has become more and more condescending as time has gone on. But that's part of the thing. But one thing that I liked that Rossman said is that Drew is sort of not in touch enough to understand that the people who were affected by things like, you know, Bengate and touch disease and all that kind of thing are regular working people. Okay, they're not rich. They're not able to, like, they don't have the upward mobility to go out and like, oh, my phone's broken. Well, I'll just go get another one. There are real people out in the world that I don't think Drew has met yet. So, Sneed, you're right. I need to move on. It makes me really frustrated on many levels because A, I like Drew, and B, there are certain things that I get riled up about. So we'll stop talking about it. What's our next topic? What's our next topic? What are my expectations for Pixel 3? Time, it will be like a transporter. Like, I don't know. Oh yeah, that new Battlefield 5, the multiplayer trailer that I just saw today. I don't know if it just came out today, but yeah, that looks really cool. When they were blending what looked like gameplay with cutscenes, I was like, there was almost zero difference between the two. Yeah, Taylor's of Tech is actually not, he's 20 years old now. He's 20 years old. Yeah, flux capacitor on the Pixel 4. Yeah. I hope that Google really doubles down on design of that phone and gives it, they have a chance to get some market share, even if they are still like a Verizon, even if they're still a Verizon exclusive, they have a chance to gain some market share. And if they put out the right phone, then, I mean, the Pixel 2 XL, the Pixel 2, those are both great phones. Hopefully they learned from the mistakes with the screen from the Pixel 2. I think they're doing more stuff in-house because now they own HTC, so I'm hoping for a lot from that phone. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Well, Steven, I have the HD 600s. I've never actually had a chance to compare them to the HD 650s. I love the 600s. They're really great. They don't sound great if you're not using an amp or something that's like got enough power to push. The headphones I just reviewed yesterday, the Massdrop AKG K7XX, those things are really, really good. and you can drive them with your phone. They do benefit from a small DAC of any kind, but those Mass Drop headphones sound really, really good. I like the soundstage of those headphones better than the HT600s, to tell you the truth. Yes, I got new glasses. A couple of days ago. You're the first person to notice. What prescription? Really bad. Really, really bad. Walter, I think if the Pixel phone is like competing in price, then it's going to be really hard for them to get that market share. If they would have done what they needed to do in terms of like, so they take the Nexus idea, but they make a slightly better phone, and instead of $500 or $600, they price it at $700 and $800. Then, yeah. The G7, I have not had a chance to see yet. It doesn't exist in my little college town yet. I like that they basically took all the stuff that was the V30, upgraded the processor and stuck it in there. But Jacob, yeah, you can mix on the AKG. I would say yes. I mean, I would never trust anything that's 100% mixed on headphones, but if you have to, they are Ray-Bans. If you have to, the AKGs are pretty flat. Maybe a little bit of a bass boost, so you might have to mix with that in mind. But yeah, I think you could mix on them. I like open back headphones for when I'm playing games or something, but I really like the isolation of closed backed headphones. And so, yeah, the DT770s are really good. I had the 200 ohm version for a while, and I didn't have anything that could drive them properly at the time, and I ended up selling them just like I sell everything else. But do I think the HomePod is overpriced? Yeah, it is. Leo, these are Ray-Bans. They are. I've only worn Ray-Bans. Like, I started putting glasses lenses in sunglasses back in the early 2000s, and then Ray-Ban actually started making lines of their glasses that were glasses and not sunglasses. So I've been mostly wearing Ray-Bans since probably year 2000, 1999, something like that. If there is a mid-range Pixel, I think they... if there is a mid-range Pixel, that might give them an in to that mid-range market. And that mid-range market is wide open for getting into the carrier stores. If Google can get stuff into the carrier stores at the mid-range, then I think they'll have something there. The iFi audio DAC, yeah, that was really good with the 600s. So I would check them out, Steven. I did like that iFi DAC, so I had to send it back. Kind of didn't want to, but supposedly they're coming out with new stuff. Hopefully they send me some. Paul, any advice I could give to someone trying to get from 1K to 10K? Man, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're making good content. You're working hard. You're doing the videos. Just keep doing what you're doing. Try and keep, yeah, just, I know it sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. The only thing that you can do is make more videos. And you'll learn from that, and you'll get better at it, and you'll find your way toward your thing And once you have your thing, then it's only a matter of time. So yeah, my daughter and my wife both had the final say on what glasses I got. Like, I wasn't going to get new glasses. I was just going to get new lenses. And then, because of the vision insurance that we have, I could spend some kind of however much money. And then I ended up getting new frames too. I like them. They have like the what is this? My brain's not working. Carbon fiber. Ah, my mouth's not working. Walter, if you want to start with the podcast, there are a couple of different USB mics that I would look at. These headphones that I'm wearing right here are the Sony MDR V6s. The MDR 7506 is the studio version. There's no difference between these. I don't think they make these anymore though. The 7506 you can get for sometimes as little as $75. They run between $75 and $100. They're really good. And Audio Technica makes a USB mic that also has an XLR plug-in. That's really good. The Blue Yeti is good, but it's versatile in ways that it doesn't need to be, and it's huge. So, but yeah, I would. Well, yeah, Denver, I agree. I mean, Apple. Somebody said the other day that Apple is using Animojis and Memojis and stuff as ways to build, like work on their AR stuff, and that's cool. We're beta testing for them, but they do spend a lot more time talking about it. So I haven't had the Sony WH-1000X M2s. I had the M1s, and they were very, very good. And I've heard that the M2s are even better. So, Julian, I don't know about about any Bluetooth 5 headsets out there. I mean, Bluetooth 5 is just not. It's not like super widespread at this point. So I don't know. Hello, Laura Morgan. Good to see you. Stephen, thank you for the comments, or for the comment here. I'm glad my advice has been helpful. So somebody passed on to me today, and do you guys remember when FaceTime was first introduced? Steve Jobs promised to make FaceTime open source. You guys remember that? Hasn't happened. I'm gonna look into it. There might be a video in there somewhere. Saad, welcome back. Noah, we've talked about the Surface Book a little bit. I mean, right now I'm live streaming from the Surface Book. I've got it connected to another monitor, but yeah, so far I'm liking it. I mean, it's only been a week. And so I'm still sort of migrating and getting everything set up. So I don't think so. Jotten. Or is it Uten? Or is it Juten? Or I mean, I don't know. I'm butchering your name, so I'm sorry. I tried the first version of those Samsung earbuds, and they were terrible. They were awful. They cut out left and right. Like, they were just awful. So, Jouten. Okay. Thank you. Apple telling you to stay woke in a commercial. Yeah. Well, so that's the Gigabyte Aero 15X or the MacBook Pro 15. I mean, the Gigabyte machine is huge. Well, not huge compared to the MacBook Pro. It's huge. But it's a more powerful computer if you get it spec'd out the right way. So, I was just looking at those Bose wireless earbuds today and wondering if they were any good. So, if they are not good, nothing bothers me more than like sync issues. The Zolo Liberties that I reviewed a while back, I still have those, and over time they just started to like drop, fade out. Like one side would go silent, and then it would go this way, and then it would go back there. Yeah, I think that CNET article is what somebody sent me in a Facebook message, and I'm gonna take a look at it and see, and just sort of, you know, see what I do kind of remember that back in the day, but I haven't seen it. Um, so I don't want to talk about it before I read up on it and kind of refresh myself on. But if FaceTime as open source, I mean FaceTime works pretty well, and now that they're going to have group FaceTime, that's pretty cool as well. It might not be the first time that it's done, but Apple does have a knack of making things easier. Yep, Nicholas, that's probably the one. Yeah, I'm going to copy and paste. Yeah, that's the article that was sent to me. So I'm gonna start researching it. Yeah, Brian Tong has his own channel now, and he's still covering Apple stuff. And he's still. I mean, Brian Tong is good. Um, I think it'll take him a bit to find a non-corporate voice, but he's a cool guy, so I think he'll be fine. Um, it's got to be weird to work outside of the structure of a company when you've been inside the structure of a company for so long, but he's he's he, he's good. He's got his own channel. You can look him up, sub. Uh, I would I go back to Apple? Um, Never say never, but I just sold my iPhone 10, and I'm trying to sell this Mac Pro that I have over here. That's 12 years old and still works. Um, yeah. I might just go Apple free for a while and see how my life goes. Yeah. I mean, Noah, everybody tells me like, "Oh, I can't leave iOS for um because of iMessage or whatever." And the thing is like my daughter has an iPhone, but my wife has always been an Android person. So, and I don't have friends that I text all the time. So I've never really had the need for any of that fancy stuff. I don't know the story of Brian Tong leaving CNET. He seemed like he did a little, sort of, I'm free, I'm me now, doing my own thing, video on his channel, and I think it just seemed like he had sort of run through his time at CNET. It was time to do something else, but I don't know. Leo, that makes sense. I mean, I could see how that would that would happen. So I did get the eBay thing fixed. PayPal ended up giving me my money back. It was a total scam, and I don't sell anything worth a ton of money on eBay anymore, but I still use it. Yeah, Josh Vergara also left Android Authority. I think the time of, these sort of Android Authority, like these groups or companies or conglomerations, I feel like maybe their time is kind of coming down. And people, now that YouTube is what YouTube is, you can go out on your own, especially if you've already built a name for yourself, and not have to worry about somebody telling you what you can and can't do, not have to worry about, making money for somebody else. Yeah. Blaster Master, I've never used Linux very much. I installed it on an old laptop just to see what it was like, but the laptop was crap, so I don't think that I ever really got a full taste of what Linux is. I don't know what happened with Pocket Now. I mean, I loved Michael Fisher was great. Juan Bagnell was great on there. I don't have any problems with Jaime Rivera, but it seems like they're sort of constricting down to just Jaime doing his stuff. I thought Michael Fisher was 100% independent. That was why was the whole Mr. Mobile thing. RoboBear, thank you, man. Yeah, it's been a busy several weeks, month, or whatever it is. He's with iMore. But his YouTube channel seems pretty independent. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I've used the Google app a lot and don't have any problem with it. I wish that it wasn't. I wish that it gave you more choices about how it was skinned. I may have mentioned this before, but I don't like things that are like white stuff on the screen. Really bothers my eyes. That's part of the reason I had to get new glasses. Like my prescription had gotten really bad, and so I was having a lot of eye strain problems and getting really bad headaches from looking at screens all the time. And now I guess they have some sort of blue light filter that they can put on the lenses, so I got that too, and I'm hoping that it makes my life easier. I might try Linux again. I haven't tried Duo. No. That's the thing with Google. I mean, they've got what, four or five different messaging apps. Yeah. Teresa, that's exactly what I think. I mean, especially the dark theme. I've never tried Pulse, Nicholas. Yeah, I thought my quality of life was better with Apple products, and then I started using their more recent computers. But dark mode on Mac OS is going to be pretty slick. I will say that. Pretty sexy. Would I go back to iPhone if it had a headphone jack and no notch? If Apple actually, see, I've been calling for this for a while. I need some. If anybody knows anybody who can do those mock-up of phones things, I want to do a mock-up of what I think the Apple, like the iPhone Pro would be. So That's what I want to do. I do game. I don't have a ton of time to do it because YouTube has taken up a ton of my time. I do have a Twitch channel. You can sub to me over there on the JTL, but I just haven't found any time to be on that for a long time. Yeah, like Sneed, I agree, but Hangouts, I don't know. I don't know. It's right now Hangouts is just kind of like you can use it to do live streams on YouTube. So that's what I do. Pulse SMS. I'll have to look that up. I haven't tried that. Face ID is not as fast as it needs to be, but man, that's one thing that I'm gonna miss not having the iPhone 10 is being able to look at my phone and unlock my like banking apps and all that kind of stuff. I got even today I got really ticked off. Like I couldn't find my wireless headphones and I couldn't find a friggin' dongle for the iPhone. And I lost 10 minutes of my life just trying to find a dongle for my headphones. It was really annoying. Well, I'm only saying pro, like that has features that a professional would value. You know, like a headphone jack and that kind of thing. Yeah. Slava, that's a good idea. Amazon is a company that does need that question asked. I've been thinking about, instead of having the 2 series, like if blank company were Painfully Honest and Can You Trust, I've been thinking about doing all that stuff under the Can You Trust series, because the Can You Trust series is doing better than than the if blank were Painfully Honest. Man, are you talking about boxing or I don't know. I haven't followed boxing for probably about 10 plus years. So, and if it's UFC, I don't know anything about UFC because I never pay for any. I don't have cable, so I can't do pay-per-view. You know, I don't know. We've seen several Pixel leaks at this point. So I don't know if it has a giant notch. I'm not going to be happy about it. Well, I've already done a Can You Trust Taylor's of Tech video, so I don't know if I want to go back and revisit that again. UFC, okay, yeah, I don't follow UFC very much. I kind of know who the bigger players are, but Can You Trust Samsung is one that I am going to do as well. Leo, thank you. Appreciate it, man. And Slava, thank you for the $2 as well. Really appreciate it. No, I think that's APFC or something like that, isn't it? Not UFC. You know, somebody earlier said, like, okay, I've already had my say about Drew and his current situation, and maybe it's time to move on. And I tend to agree, because otherwise I'll just keep talking about it and making myself mad. So I'm gonna let the Talos of Tech thing float away for a bit. Quigley Down Under, of course it's trending and recommended. Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, I have to go look at those notch leaks a little. I glanced at them real quick. I'm kind of not a leak guy. I tend to not try and get caught up in that stuff because then it just like spins you in circles. Yes, moratorium on all things Tailosive. That's right. From here on out. Saad, no problem, man. This has been fun. It's always fun. Melbourne. Thank you, Pino. But it's morning in Melbourne now, isn't it? Or is it like next week? You guys are way on the other side of the planet. Let it marinate. That's what I'm going to do. Stick it in some Italian dressing and just let it sit there. All right, let me look up this Pixel. This shows you that I didn't watch the FPT that featured this. Sorry, John. But, you know. Yeah, it does. There's a big notch there. Yeah, I don't know. If it's a prototype, prototypes aren't the final deal. So who knows? I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because Apple is bringing in so many features that were on that have been in Android up to this point, and and yeah, the Android phones are all copying the notch. I mean, I get it. I get it. They want screen all the way to the edge, but I did look it up. I'm looking at it right now. That's what I'm looking at. So, I mean, but again, if it's a prototype, it might not be anywhere close to the final design. I guess I could set my thing up so that I could have a scene where I show you guys, but I haven't gotten that far. I just uploaded or downloaded this stuff. And this is my maiden voyage on Streamlabs OBS with the Surface Book. So Drew, I'm ashamed to say, because I talk so much crap about this phone, I went back to the Note 8, mostly because Best Buy has it on sale for $26 a month right now, and it just lowers my bill. Like, I'm working really hard to get my phone bill down so that when phones start to come out, I don't have to pay so much in the phone bill, so I can get the phones, you know. The thing about hiding the notch, I mean, I'm glad to hear that the G7 speakers are good, but the thing about hiding the notch is, like, if you hide the notch, then all you get is like a gigantic bezel. And yeah. Well, WWDC was kind of painful. Yeah. It was kind of painful. And see, Apple's marketing team has a whole like plan, and these events are part of that plan. I mean, it got us talking about Apple when they don't have any new products out, and when there's nothing going on, and now they got another big news cycle out of it. So they know what they're doing. I just sometimes you wonder why. Man, I know I don't want to shop at Best Buy, but it's a short-term solution for what's been a long-term issue. I'm I'm just trying to get down to where I have a reasonable phone bill. I have never used a ThinkPad. I think they're really cool, but I've never used one, Rotario. There is nothing wrong with the little bezel. I agree. I think if you look at the Note 8 and the S series phones, like I don't look at that. I don't look at those phones and think like, wow, look at that big fat bezel. The notch will be phased out. That much is for sure. The notch is it is a compromise that will be phased out at a certain point, but right now they just can't get past it. So you watched my live stream and Brian Tong's live stream, and you weren't impressed. What, by me or by him? Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the phrase mouse nipple. It's, especially given the texture that thing has. I don't want to touch any nipple that has that texture. Yeah, I mean, you got to have a little bit of bezel to hold it in the landscape. You're right. Leo, I don't know how to feel about that. T430. So is that a ThinkPad? I assume. I'm kind of one of those people, and maybe it's because I'm an older dude. I like to be able to like touch the things that I might purchase, and they don't carry ThinkPads at Best Buy anymore. And Best Buy is really the only place I can go to look at computers because I live in a relatively small town. So right now I'm using the MX Master mouse in sand color, because this was $59, I think, as opposed to the regular one that was still $100. I have not played Overwatch, Ahmed. It's something that I keep thinking like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I might like to try that, but then I just haven't done it. All right, can we please stop saying nipple in the chat? It's weirding me out. I didn't get banned from Best Buy. I didn't get banned. I was banned from returning things at first one Best Buy and now every Best Buy for 6 months. Yeah, they don't carry the professional machines. They don't carry the Dell professional machines. They don't carry the Lenovo ThinkPads. They don't carry any of that. Yeah, I might try it. I've been kind of, when I do play games, I've been kind of on a PUBG kick, and I know that it's not where the cool kids are these days, but I like more realistic, non-cartoony stuff. So Fortnite just doesn't look like something I'd enjoy. But PUBG, I've been trying to do. The hit markers and the hit boxes in PUBG are just so ridiculously messed up that it's like, as long as I don't see anyone for the first 25 minutes of a match, then I might have a chance. Yeah, I can't return anything to a Best Buy for 6 months. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Three to 4 hours of Overwatch, man. That's a lot of Overwatch. Well, they can't ban me from the store. I just was in the store today. But they do have, so they use a third party company that monitors the, and a lot of big box stores use this. So a lot of big box stores have a company that sort of monitors their returns. It did blah blah blah, and then when a person hits a certain threshold, then that company kicks in a notification that says, you have to sign the pad and say that you recognize that you've hit your limit, and you can't return things for a while. So, yeah, returning too many things, that is the problem. I haven't considered calling corporate Best Buy. I guess it's something that I could do, and but at the same time, like, I don't know. I need less Best Buy in my life anyway. So maybe this is good for everybody. Yeah, you would think that my Best Buy would love me. They act like I never spend $1 in there, but I spend a lot of money in Best Buy. So, Morgan Williams, thank you for the $10 and nipple. I appreciate that. Yeah, eBay. I've had some tough times with eBay, but I do still use it. And like, I'm trying to sell a lot of stuff, and I don't know. Like, I have so much stuff that I don't know how to, like, what to sell or how to sell it. All right, the nipple. I mean, if it gets me $10, I guess I don't have any problem with nipple, but you know. Yeah, I did actually speak to customer service people at eBay though when I had my my stolen iPhone 10. Best Buy. I mean, I don't even want to think about how much money. Like, I'm for the past probably 4 or 5 years, I've earned Elite Plus status at Best Buy. So that means you have to spend like $3,500 or more each year. And I usually easily double that, which is sad, but I do. And they still get pissed at me. Swappa is where I go for where I go to sell phones now. I mean, it's a flat rate. Yeah, it's just $25 to list it, and you don't have to give away money to PayPal and blah blah blah. Or I guess you do. The money goes to PayPal, but yeah. So Jalton, what are you saying? A laptop and a desktop a year? You mean that's what you buy that every year? Yeah. I don't know if there's Swappa over in the European Union. So what do you mean dump all your phones at Verizon? Like, uh, trade them in or something? I don't know. I have to say, Blaster Master, that selling on eBay and doing that back end stuff, like getting the postage and all that, has become much easier than it was. I mean, I've been selling stuff on eBay since eBay started. So Gary, thank you. Thank you for being here. And well, see the graphic on the bottom. I don't control it. YouTube puts the. Oh, do you mean the graphic on the bottom, like my little painfully honest tech? Uh, I will tell you that your LG OLED TV does like pixel shift so that it's not there all the time. But so yeah, if Best Buy wanted to be a sponsor on the channel, send me some stuff over. I wouldn't have any problem with it. Um, so maybe I will give them a call. Then they'll look at my account and they'll say, "You are a crazy person." Tommy C, that's real. I mean, both phones are good. Both phones are good. I just sold my iPhone 10 because I want to get Apple out of my life for a little while. So I do remember my disclaimer. I have a sponsored video coming up, and it's been something that I've really been like making sure that I know what I want to do and how I want to do it. So I do have Amazon affiliate stuff. If you look in the descriptions of my videos, there's a lot of Kit and Amazon links in there. Oh yeah, too much MSNBC can be dangerous for anything's health, I guess, But it's good that they replaced the TV for you. I've been paranoid about burn-in on my TV as well. Well, Morgan, it's good to know that I'm not alone. Thank you for the $5. Yeah, yeah. It was funny because I had gone iMac to MacBook, and it's sort of like gone through 3 different computers trying to get to a computer that I could actually use. And then, the first Surface Book that I got, I haven't talked about this, but the first Surface Book that I got, for some reason, the freaking, when you docked the screen back into the laptop, it wouldn't completely connect, so it would just flip back and forth between saying it was attached and unattached. And I was like, oh shit, now I got another computer that's screwing up. So I did go back, and I just ended up exchanging for another Surface Book. But yeah, I tried to also return like I got one of those little USB-C dongles for the MacBook that I had picked up, and that's when I got kicked over the limit for the Best Buy stuff. So yeah, Leo, I appreciate that. My whole thing is like I don't want to. One of the problems that I see right now in tech YouTuber land is that the majority of tech channels are sponsored in some way or another at many different times, and it's just never clear. And I feel like that might erode the trust of the viewer to the point where nobody wants to watch tech YouTubers anymore because they don't know who's paying for them. So I want to be able to be sure that if I am receiving some kind of compensation for a video, that I'm super clear about what it is and why I chose to do it. Yes, R.I.P. Anthony Bourdain. Depression is a terrible disease for sure. Yeah. No, you can't upgrade the MacBook Pros anymore. Those SSDs are super fast though. Sneed, I don't have the Pixel 2 XL. I gave it to my wife because she had a S7 Edge that was just flaking out all over the place, and so I decided to. I wanted to get her a new phone, but instead of doing that, I just gave her that phone. I don't think I went too easy on Austin. I mean, the thing about it is, like, he does what he does. I think I said that he kind of stayed in the middle of the road a little bit more than I would appreciate. But you know, he does a good job at what he does. Oh man, don't talk to me about D brand. Don't talk to me about D brand. I found myself wanting to get a D brand skin for the Surface Book, and then I like hit myself in the head. And those plasma TVs were good. Those plasma TVs were good, but I tell you what, LG OLEDs, it's like a whole different thing. Yeah, FPT does have the ad thing locked down. I keep bothering John to hook me up. All right, Slava, we're not going there. We're not going there. Yeah, D brand. I don't know. I just think that they sponsor all of YouTube. Like every tech YouTuber is in their pocket, it seems, and it's just like the carpet bombing marketing plan is just annoying to me. Noah, so I went back and got another Note 8. That's what I did. It makes more financial sense. I sold the friggin' iPhone 10, and the Note 8, I'm getting it for like $650. So that just seemed to make more sense in terms of like what my Verizon bill looks like. Well, yeah, usually, I mean, I feel like FPT and my channel like have a lot of crosstalk. I think a lot of people have come over to find my channel. Yeah, like Leo says, like I think a lot of people have come over to my channel from FPT as well. Would I take a D brand sponsorship? I've often wondered that. I don't know what it is that they're offering these YouTubers that makes them all take their money. So yeah, I don't know. D brand, come at me. Come at me. Say hello to my little friend. I mean, originally D brand was like, okay, so when D brand first came out, most phones looked like crap. And D brand was a way to make your phone look a little bit better. But now phones look amazing, and D brand is just a way to make your phone look cheap by putting a sticker on it. $50 Android phone with a rebate. Do you have to crank it up and talk into a horn or something? I'm joking. Joking. If D brand made a D brand skin of my face, I might just have to go for it then, because that would be too much funny. Yeah, I was yeah, I don't know how deep their pockets got so deep selling stickers. Um but they did, I guess. Jose, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. See, one of the good things about getting the note at $300 off is that, like, selling it will not be that much money out of my pocket. I'll be able to break even a little bit more. So if I do want to move to a Note 9 or whatever, then I can do that. Have I ever added a new line to get a new phone? Y-Town 4? Yeah, I have. I think I have like 7. I have 7 lines on my account right now. But that was sort of a weird but necessary evil so that I could cover as many the phones that I wanted to cover last year and the year before. Eric knows best. Thanks, man. It's good. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your stay. Yeah, so I'm trying to dig myself out of the hole that I got myself in over the past couple of years. And the only way I can do that is to try and make my phone not cost as much, I guess. Voris, thank you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they make their customers do that, or their employees do that stuff. So I've been talking to Flossie Carter about coming on my podcast. We haven't been able to nail down a date yet, but we have been communicating back and forth. So hopefully that happens sometime this summer. I also have been in contact with Justine, and she says she wants to come on as well. That might be sometime in July. So, yes, the friggin' Legos, exactly. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm trying to get the people that I've featured on the Can You Trust series to come on the podcast. Actually, Lou from Unbox Therapy just got back to me, and he said it's a crazy time for him right now, but maybe some other time, maybe sometime down the road. So maybe. I don't know which Can You Trust video is coming next. I usually think about it through the weekend and then kind of settle on something around. I'm trying to get into a schedule where I put out the Can You Trust videos on Wednesdays. And so I have some ideas, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. I don't know what a shoey is. Sneed. I don't know. I feel like the Gmail and inbox are kind of the necessary evils. I don't really like either of them. But Leo, yes, I would love to get to the place where I could do this as a full-time gig. I mean, I'm working toward that for sure. One of the problems is I really like the job that I have. I like teaching. I like, doing the stuff that I do. But at a certain point, you can't do all that stuff. So if I make more money here, then maybe that'll be a thing that I can do. But I'm kind of just taking it slow at this point. I had Taylosive on my podcast like before it was officially a podcast. I mean, Drew and I are friends. I mean, I hope we're still friends. I know I said I was pretty hard on him, but so again, I don't have any problems with that. Voris, are you quoting Queen to me? That's weird, man. Yeah, I probably will do a Can You Trust video for Google. Samsung Focus for email. I'll look into it since I got a Samsung phone right now. I do use the S Pen when I have it. I just have to get back into the habit of using it. Like, I really like being able to take notes, write things down, and physically be writing as opposed to typing. Well, I don't know if I'm hitting the big time just yet, but I'm excited to hopefully get the opportunity to have those folks come on. That would be very cool. I mean, you know, I'm trying to work every angle that I can work to make this thing happen. No, I'm not sure. I think the S Pen is something that you have to, at first you have to make a conscious effort to use it. And then if you do, then it becomes part of how you use your phone. But I don't know. I mean, USS Sentinel. Yes, I do game. I play some games. I don't have as much time to play games now as I did before YouTube started to get more busy for me. So, all right, you guys have to remember we have a moratorium on discussion of the channel that is known as Tailors of Tech. We're not going to talk about it. I've watched some Mr. Who's the Boss. And yeah, he does make some good videos. He's somebody I'm considering for the Can You Trust series, so I'm going to be watching more of his videos. JPS, thank you for being here from Japan. Yeah, I do want to check out the decks. That might be kind of fun. I think once I get to 100,000, things will change pretty significantly. 200,000 for sure, but 100,000 is like what I'm focused on right now. I like to make those kind of goals for myself. So 100,000 is what I'm focused on. How long have I been teaching? Well, I taught through grad school. So like 13, 14 years of being a teacher most of the time, but I've also worked as like a tutor and other things as well. So I've done a lot of jobs. So, but I love teaching. I do. And if I wasn't doing it, I think I'd be really bummed out. But I don't know. If Foxconn is manufacturing the new Pixels, I don't know. I don't see why that would be a problem. I mean, they certainly had the experience that's needed to make a solid phone. But I've always got the feeling that Foxconn was just like a fulfillment company for like, so Apple comes to them and then they make the iPhones, and it's just them fulfilling an order. But I'm sure there's more to it than that. Jared Bush, I've only watched a few of his videos, so I can't really speak in an educated manner about Jared Bush, but he's somebody that I might do on the Can You Trust. So I got a degree in sorry, I got a degree, a Master's of Fine Arts in fiction writing here in Iowa. So I teach writing and humanities related stuff. And at the graduate level, I teach, well, I guess the professional level, I teach med students. Yes, I know that Foxconn has the suicide nets. It's a shame. Yeah, med students. Erica Griffin is really good. You know, she's one of those people that I go to when I really need a deep dive into a phone to really know what I'm getting into. I love the Key 2 design, so yeah, I think that I love the design of Blackberries. I'm glad there's still a place in the market for them. You would not believe, like, if you go in the comments of any of my videos, especially the Can You Trust videos, people are always asking, like, or asking the question, can I trust you, or anything like that. It's like, and I think the problem is, like, I can't, I could do a Can You Trust video on myself, but, you know, thanks, Rotario. Thank you. PewDiePie. Oh, man. I don't know what to say about PewDiePie. Voris, why would med students need literature? Because they're not robots. They have to be people. It's not just for writing essays. It's for learning how to be a person and talk to people. Because, you know, medicine is about people. So some courses are electives. Some courses are not. I do a lot of different things. So I'm the director of what's called the Writing and Humanities program. So I run a literary journal, I run a conference, I run a podcast, I teach several classes. You know, I do a lot of stuff. Your average consumer is on my list, although I think I need to venture outside of Team Crispy for my next Can You Trust video. I might be a little bit biased about Painfully Honest Tech, Leo. Yes, for sure. Yeah, but I do have a, like, poor self-image, so maybe it would be fine. I sleep about 6 hours a night. Max Lee is pretty good. Yeah, I haven't seen too many of his videos recently. Um, Danny's cool too, and Dave Lee. I like his videos. He's, like, strangely. It's like he's almost doing ASMR computer videos where he's always, like, talking like this and just sort of. So I feel a little bit weird about it, but. Yeah, I think he did say that, Red Tiger. It's probably not wrong, but it was a haymaker for sure. No, not my hormones. No, it's just he talks so softly. It's strange. I've seen them do a video together with Jonathan Morrison. I think back around the first of the year, they did a video with the three of them reading mean comments. But I think Unbox Therapy and Dave Lee, like, Lou and Dave Lee live in Toronto, so that's probably how they. Yeah, jerry rig everything. does kind of do ASMR tech videos. Like, he's just got that voice. He seems like a very cool guy. What are your thoughts? Another. I don't know. I don't know what you're asking me, Jeremy. Should you switch from Android to iPhone? Well, I just did the opposite. I mean, people love both. Right now, I just want an Apple-free life. So I don't know what to tell you. What is my favorite thing to do to relax? That's assuming that I relax, which I have a lot of trouble doing. I like to play music, but I don't force myself to do it as much as I should. My thoughts on Anthony Bourdain, as somebody who has dealt with depression myself, it's really sad to hear that he got to that place. I did not see Dave Lee's Dyson vacuum video. Maybe I'll go back and look for it. Casey Neistat, I have to admit that I got a little, like, YouTuber crush on Casey Neistat, because he's really, really good at what he does. What kind of music do I like? I'll give the Duke Ellington response. I like good music. I really have very wide-ranging tastes. But I grew up in West Virginia, so I grew up with country music and rock and roll music, and I was a punk rock kid. But the Beatles obviously were my favorite band, as they are emblazoned on my arm, and they still are my favorite band. Yeah, I know more about the Beatles than is probably healthy for any one person. Can I do a video on the new MSI? Are you talking about that new slim gaming laptop that they got? I honestly, I was about ready to buy that laptop, and I decided to stick with the Surface Book. But I would love to do a video on it. Yeah, I'm still an Apple Music guy. Yeah, the 65. That's the one that Slava's talking about, the GS65. Well, I grew up in Morgantown, which is in northern West Virginia anyway. And I've been a singer since I was really, really young. I've never had an accent. My family does, to a certain extent. But yeah. Yeah, so I can do the hillbilly. Sometimes I do slip into it a little bit when I'm around people who have a southern accent, or when I'm back home. But the accent isn't as prominent in northern West Virginia as it is in southern West Virginia. The thing I want to achieve most in my life? Oh, geez. I don't know, man, because I thought when I was younger that there was some, like, if once I get here, once I get to point whatever, then I will have succeeded. But life is a lot longer and weirder than that. Right now, I'm really enjoying doing this YouTube thing, and building that, and meeting folks through that, like all the guys here on the stream. So I don't know. I'm just kind of, I've achieved a lot of the things that I had hoped I would achieve in life. I mean, musician, novelist, but I've realized that those things are just things. I think I want to be a better, more sane person. So, over by Marshall. I see. As a WVU grad, I don't know how I feel about that, but at least it's not Pitt. Yeah, Rotario, I hear you. I mean, that's one thing that got me interested in the Surface Book was it has a 15-watt CPU in it, but it's a newer CPU than what Apple has in the MacBooks, and it has a better graphics card than what's in the MacBooks. So only dead fish go with the flow. That's good. Yeah, you have to look at the world differently. I mean, once it's like, in some ways it starts to slow down, and in some ways it definitely doesn't. Like my daughter starts high school next year, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Yeah, Blaster Master, I think you're right. I mean, I never had any thought at all that I would get. I was just doing the YouTube thing because I like to do it. So I never really thought that it would become anything, and now it's becoming something, and I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I like the game of trying to make it work. I like to work. I like to have conversations. So it's good for me. Okay, we'll agree to disagree on the WVU Marshall thing, and let's just leave it at that. And you can enjoy the channel, and I can enjoy that you're enjoying the channel, and it's all good. The Bitcoin cryptocurrency thing is, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Some people get really excited about it. But I'm a little bit more sort of like, let's see. I don't have enough regular money. So I don't even know how to get into the Bitcoin cryptocurrency market. So Darkonin, I will tell you that in my YouTube analytics, my biggest demographic is 25 to 34. And then the next biggest graphic is 35 to whatever comes next. So first cell phone I ever had, I think it was like, geez, there were a lot of like just non-smartphones. First smartphone I think I ever had was the Galaxy. It wasn't Galaxy at that time. The Samsung Captivate was probably the first smartphone that I ever had. Yeah, everybody knows. I've said how old I am enough, I think. Most people know. Yeah. It's almost time for us old people to go to bed, though, isn't it? Well, Red Tiger, I think one of the things that is in the benefit for smaller YouTubers is, yeah, they don't have the conflict of interest of like such and such company offering them huge checks. to do a sponsored video. But you have to remember that like Unbox Therapy and all those guys, they all started out the same way. It's just like they're the first wave of people to become really successful at doing this. And, you know, maybe myself and Taylosive and FPT and other people are like the second wave, but I definitely feel like it's important that we learn from what's been done prior. And I think from a journalistic standpoint, having a little bit more, I don't want to say like being more painfully honest, let's just say it that way, will benefit the whole community. So. Thanks, Leo. Appreciate it. Yeah, those Razr flip phones were something else. I mean, Motorola should bring those back. Motorola needs a hit. So, I think if they brought those Razr phones back, but made them smartphones, they would do well. Well, John, I would say that in YouTube, as with anything else, like even if you're first, you have to be different because there's a lot of other people that were trying to be first as well. So you just have to keep doing your thing. I mean, ultimately, nobody learns how to be what they're striving to be, but without just putting the work in. So it's about lunchtime in Japan? Okay. See, look, all the good ideas, you know, that I have are already being used. Ooh, I did have a StarTech. I did have a StarTech at one time. And I had a Samsung phone after that had like play, pause, and like forward and backward on the top of the phone. It was a flip phone. So well, I have to say that Motorola is probably doing better than Nokia these days. I mean, their mid-range phones are some of the best mid-range phones that are out there. So I think Motorola's in a little bit better place, but yeah, I think if they bring the Razr back and make it some sort of smartphone, that would be pretty slick. I don't think that smartphones will crash like the 80s video game crash. I mean, the 80s video game crash was like a bunch of weird things happening all at once. And that was kind of like a brand new market too, that there wasn't anything that you could compare it to. So I think it just got out ahead of itself. And then companies didn't quite make good choices. I did have the ET game though, and played it, and don't remember anything about it except for ET falling down a hole. Huawei phones are really pretty good. Like I have the Honor 7X. It's the $200 phone, and it is a really good phone. I mean, it's a really good phone, not just for $200, but it's just a really good phone. Yeah, I don't think ET was the worst game, no, but I think it was like the game that had to succeed, and they didn't have the things in place. They didn't have the time. They didn't have the development. They didn't have everything that they needed for it to be as good as it needed to be. And so when they pushed it into the Christmas market, when they and they sort of bet the house on that ET game, and it flopped. I still am interested in that Razer phone. Have you guys seen that new ZenBook from Asus that has the screen as a touchpad? Razer must be pretty pissed. They had that Project Linda earlier this year, and I played that Raiders of the Lost Ark game too. The Raiders of the Lost Ark game was pretty darn. I don't know. I remember enjoying it, but it was weird and it was hard. That's what I remember about it. Best sounding phone for music, I would have to say probably the V30 or the LG G7 ThinQ or Think or whatever you want to call it. That has all the same insides as the V30 except for upgraded SoC. So, but if you're talking about listening on headphones, like those beat everything. So that ROG phone looks pretty. I mean, I don't know if I could carry that phone around with a straight face, to tell you the truth, but it looks pretty badass. I will say that. Uh, iPhone next steps. I mean, if they're going to come out with 3 phones, they better all be 3 phones that people want to buy. That's what I'll say. Yeah, quad DACs are I mean, the quad DAC in a phone, it's unbelievable that you could get that kind of quality out of a mobile device. Everybody uses iPhones in Japan? Interesting. I haven't looked at the Lenovo Z5 except for the fact that they released I don't even know what to say about that. They released like pictures of the phone that weren't the real pictures. Did they not think they were going to get caught? And they did get caught. Yeah, the ROG phone comes with the ROG phone comes with a cooling attachment. So there you go. The headphone jack thing, I think I have a rant in me somewhere that I've been holding on to for a little while that talks about wireless headphones, Bluetooth headphones, and how much I hate them. Czar, I don't know if we're going to get a Razer or an Essential Phone 2. Honestly, like, I knew that company was in trouble when Andy Rubin had to step away. And I don't know what's going to happen. If we get an Essential Phone 2, it'll be put out by a different company that buys Essential. Well, I wanted to have an iPhone 10 or some 2017 phone, okay, to compare the 2018 phones to. And so that's why I went back to the iPhone 10. But after my recent experiences with Android, or iPhone Apple devices, I'm selling I sold my iPhone 10 and I got a Note 8 again. So these are the days of our lives. I think Amazon would be a good home for Essential, for sure. But then again, I mean, Razer bought the Nextbit company and turned that into the Razer phone. So it might be cool to see what somebody who isn't typically a phone manufacturer take that and do something with it. And I do like the Note 8. I mean, now it's like I'm trying to get my computer set up so that it works the way that I need it to work, and now I've got to set up the phone again. It's just, I don't know. Leo, what are you talking about, the HomePod? I mean, I was tempted to go out and get 2 HomePods, just so I could hear it in stereo, but then I realized I would have to spend $700 plus tax, and I just don't want to do that. Ivan, do you know you have caps lock on? Just curious. I'm going to use the Surface Book for at least 2 or 3 weeks before I do any kind of video on it, because, you know, switching to the Surface Book from not just Apple, but to, like, as it being my only device, it's going to take me some time to get everything set up. So I just want to be sure that I'm actually not thinking about being frustrated in terms of I don't have everything set up the way I need it set up. I want to be sure that I'm making a video about using the device, and that being what I'm make that be what I don't know what I'm saying. I'm tired. We've been going 2 hours. I knew there was some reason I was getting tired. But I do like stock Android. However, the Note 8 has been updated to I believe they call it Samsung Experience 9.0 now. So I did like that when I was using it on the S9 Plus. So I'm anxious to see how I like the Note 8 with that. Thank you, Fernando. Moses, I started out, like, when the PS4 came out. I wanted to play with a friend of mine who lived across the country. I'd never had a gaming headset, so I went to Best Buy and I got a gaming headset, and it was a piece of crap. And so I made some videos about gaming headsets, and people started watching them, and then I just kept doing it as sort of something that I enjoyed to do. And suddenly last year, like, I went from 4,000 or 5,000 subs to close to 40,000 by the end of the year. And it just keeps moving. That's okay, Ivan. Or is it Yvonne? I'm trying. You got the accent over the A there. I don't know, man. My Sony Golds, the original Sony Golds that came out a few years ago, those were really good. I haven't tried the new ones yet. I've reviewed them all. The Stinger is the best $50 headset to be made. I will agree with you on that. JP, thank you for stopping in, man. Have a nice lunch. Yeah, Sony Golds were some of my favorites. I haven't heard great things. There you go, JP. Yeah. Yes, it is a Gibson SG. I'm very interested to see the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. I really like the guy who's playing Freddie Mercury. I forget his name, but I really like him. And so it looks really interesting. But you never know with like rock and roll biopics. You never know if they're going to be good or not. So we'll just have to wait and see. One thing I'm going to say though is now that we're over 2 hours. Yeah, Mr. Robot Dude, he's really good. He's really good. We're over 2 hours. My voice is getting tired, and so I think I'm going to call it. But yes, Rami Malek is his name. Thank you, Voris. Yeah, Rami, R-A-M-I, I think it is. Yeah. I'm not going to start on the Disney Star Wars stuff because, yeah, that's a conversation for another time. Yeah, Leo, sorry, man. I do appreciate you guys all coming, though. It's been a good chat. I really did enjoy. So anyway, my brain is now running out of gas. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Until the next time.